Hey everybody, I'm Justin Bohn.
And I'm Mike Val.
And this is the Bohn and Zano Zone, where we are always on the lanes, off the charts, and on the mic. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Bohn and Zano Zone podcast presented by BuddiesProShop.com. Mike, welcome back. It's been a little 2-week break for us, but it's good to be back recapping these two major events.
Yeah, we're a little bit behind the eight ball, but we got a lot to say about these past two good shows, to say the least.
Yeah, it definitely was. It was two exciting shows, and two really good guys coming out on top. They were exciting to watch, and I don't know that we should waste any time without getting right into them.
No, and a little bit of drama in the one too, which I'm sure we'll touch on a little bit.
Yeah, we'll touch on that once we get there. So we're gonna
Let's go right into it.
We're gonna start with the players, and just you guys know the deal. We'll recap it as we go.
So we had 5, and 4 of the 5 were number 1 seeds through the regions.
Yeah, the only one that didn't was Dick Allen, and Dick Allen,
correct,
ran the ladder, absolutely ran him over.
Yeah, he had that special little trick.
Yeah, and this was one of your picks as well. When the money was there, you say he always gets it done.
He always finds a way somehow, and I still really want to know how he does that as a full roller. I can't figure it out.
Mind blowing, right?
It really is. Like, you think of a full roller, you just think of a guy who kind of like knuckles it up the lane, and this guy can create so much as a full roller. It's amazing how he does it.
Yeah, it's he's pretty good at it too. You hear they're doing some kind of TV show based off his story?
I saw that. They're doing like a movie, right? Is it a show or a movie?
I think it's a show about something with how he started from getting laid off at
the GM
at the job, and now being on tour full time.
Yeah, it's a good story. Now, I know we had talked a lot about this, and I guess everybody talked about this, about the pattern that they use down there for the players. I think they were a little bit different on the show for some reason. I mean, obviously the scoring pace wasn't as high as they were in the other telecasts.
Right.
I thought they were a little different on TV day for the money. I really did. I could be wrong in my assumption, but they did not look as easy as they were in the previous 5 shows.
And I think that was could have been just part of how they broke them down.
Yeah.
This show or the TSC show. Because the TSC show, I believe, or the TSC was on the same pattern, and the scores were not nearly as high on the show as they were in qualifying and match play.
It was the same pattern?
I believe so. It was the same pattern that they used for the show.
I know they used was it Don Johnson they used?
Don Carter, maybe?
On the team, Don Johnson or Carter for you know what? We'll just have to find out. But I thought it was Johnson for the TSC. I could be wrong.
Well, you're talking about low scoring anyway. Both these guys haven't missed yet through 4 frames.
Yeah, I know. That just proves my point right there.
4.5.
Yeah, 4.5 there, and of course there's the $1 million bonus right there. So that's the kiss of death.
Well, I mean, the first shot back they didn't miss, so that's bonus.
Yeah, and it was pretty cool how they had the seeding match too the day before.
Yeah, I like that. I think personally that could have been
great
on
format.
Yeah, I liked it. 3 games on the pair. I think it worked. I think the coverage could have been. I mean,
they could have televised that.
Yeah, I think so. I think with the amount of money on the line, I think that it could have been on, like, even if it was on FS1 or FS2.
Yeah, exactly.
And by the way, look at this prime example of how high the scores were on this TV show. Front 5 versus the front 6. And Chris Viable on 300 a couple weeks ago in the East Region Stepladder Finals.
Yeah. And I actually have – I'm going to pull this out really quick here. I kind of have a little bit of info here, which is I did a little bit of research on this. And again, I just kind of like, a little, this is me being bored here. So, first timer on TV, Chris. I don't want to say his name incorrectly. Chris K.
Okay.
Right, averaged 249 for his 4 games on TV. First time ever on TV.
Right.
Wesley Lowe, first time on TV, 226. Let's go a little more. Zach Weidman, 4 games on TV, 259 he averaged for his first 4 games on TV ever. We want to go to the East region. We know Timmy Foible, 230 in his, and that was it right there. That was basically the game right there when Simonson missed the 10 pin.
Yeah, and especially with how high the scores were throughout the shows. Carry was very important, but when you miss a single pin spare, and obviously it looked like he had some putting issues.
Yeah, he's stuck there.
Missing single pin spares is just.
And he whiffs that one, throws it to the break point, 210. But getting back to what I was saying, Justin, all the guys that made their first show in this tournament, right? Their average, are you ready for this? All of them, combining them all, 258 was the average for the first time finalists. So just think of all the stories you hear of, my first TV show, I bowled 150. Randy Peterson says it all the time. Randy goes, if you ever hear Randy on the show, his first show, he bowled 153.
Right.
How good is Randy Peterson? How good was his career? He bowled 150 the first time on TV.
Right.
I'll even go one further. Your father, on his first show, his first game, he went into a roll-off. I'm sure you knew that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there you go. But all these guys who made their first show, they averaged 250. That is incredible. It's absolutely incredible. So that's why I thought they were a little bit different, but here's Smallwood on the front 9, so proving my point.
Yeah, well, I think the turning point of this match, not only Smalls having the front 9 and not missing, but it was first the missed 10 pin and then followed up by the 210. That was about all she wrote. With the point that Smalls already had the front 7 at that point. If he just stayed clean, he was bowling 250, and Simonson had just gone open to be in the 220s and could only strike out for 240.
Yeah, so. and 9 spare in this tournament was kind of like an open frame. And
I don't know I'd say that, but an open frame was like 2 or 3 open frames.
Exactly. The 9 out really
multiple 9 spares was an open frame.
Yeah, but him actually going 9 out is like he had to be saying in his head like I'm done. Like I just gave 20 back there. I'm dead.
Right.
All right, so now let's insert Dick Allen here. Most underrated bowler on the planet by far.
Absolutely.
100%. Most underrated player on the planet. And what he did the week before was probably one of the best performances on a telecast ever.
Oh, absolutely. The second highest 4-game series on TV ever.
Mm-hmm. Behind Bob Lauren. Yep.
And showed up in every 10th frame to win the match.
Yeah. He needed every shot.
Yeah, and that just goes to show how good his performance was.
Yeah.
In the South region.
South, yeah, correct.
But still, as I was about to say, still the strike's going.
And well, he's double. Yeah, no, and this is why I thought they were a little different. Dick Allen had, again, in his first show, it looked like he had a little more pop in the back. That's why they might have broke him down differently, however you want to say it.
Right.
There were a couple 2-handers on this show. I don't know. It just looked like his ball reaction was different than what he had the week before. That's why I kind of said that.
Okay.
Now, do we want to even bring up the 1,000-pound elephant in the room that happened later on in this match?
We'll get to it.
Because seriously, come on.
So, obviously, complete accident, but
it's 100% was an accident.
We're gonna skip through this a little bit, as you see. Now this is going a little more low scoring. Smalls did the front 9, and now they struck 4 times in the first 9 shots.
Correct.
Not great.
No, you could see they're in a little bit of transition, a little bit of Smalls looked like he was in his own carry down. It looked like.
Yeah, a little bit. But Smalls had full control over this match until the water bottle incident.
Yeah. And we're going to get to that in a second. That's coming up, like, momentarily, if I'm not mistaken, right? There
Yep.
it is.
So,
And I'm telling you right now, anybody that thinks that was intentional needs to have their head examined. I mean, really?
is out of their mind. You're not going to do that
Justin,
on
I've been
purpose on TV.
No. I've been watching
No.
bowling for, Christ, 30 years probably. I don't think I've ever seen a spill like that in the bowlers area on a telecast, ever.
No.
And for people to think that he did that on purpose is absolutely ludicrous. There's no way that was on purpose.
Absurd. Yeah.
I don't care about the biggest rivalries you have on tour, whether it's Belmonte and Rash, or, you could even go Prather and O'Neill. They have a little bit of a rivalry. There's not one guy that would do something like that maliciously to actually try to, like, endanger, their opponent. Because God forbid you step in that, you're falling. There's no way. Nobody would do that out there. So anybody that thinks that what Dick Allen did was intentional is absolutely insane.
And what Smalls did was almost sit through a second commercial break.
Yeah, exactly what he did.
Another 2 or 3 minute break to clean all that water.
Exactly.
So that was almost his own another commercial break. He still got to the pocket flat 10. Don't get me wrong, but maybe a little more oomph on it without sitting through that break.
I'll give you that. That's a very good point there. Like, they iced the kicker, like, for another 2 minutes, 100%.
Right.
I'll give you this one, but you know what I was really impressed with this whole players TV format and whatnot? I swear there. I loved Belmonte's commentary. He was really, really good in the booth.
Yeah, I agree.
He had a lot of knowledge. He was really good in the booth. Like, he was a perfect, like, middleman between that maniac Dave Ryan, and Randy. I thought Belmo was phenomenal in the booth.
Yeah, well, make note of that stick on it, how Dick Allen stuck on the spare. Yep. Simonson had done the same thing.
Yeah, oh boy, that's out the window there.
And that was the game-changing shot right there. So,
yeah,
you can see he's got control. He goes out for 248. Dick Allen only strikes out for 228. But, you can see the footing issue on that left side when you're shooting those 10 pins. And, Smalls was basically sliding right into it on his first ball.
Yeah.
Simonson had stuck. Dick Allen had stuck. I don't know that I would call that a stick or an errant shot, but
I don't know.
It was one of the two. And I don't know that some people might have thought that stick from Dick Allen was a water issue. It wasn't.
No. And the worst thing, and Justin, you'll attest to this too, the worst feeling in the world, having bad footing.
Oh, 100%.
It's the worst thing in the world, especially like and the open.
That's just a terrible break, having it go right around the 7.
Yeah. That's not a common spare either, but.
No, but that really should have been a spare.
Absolutely.
Forget the fact that he didn't throw it the greatest, but he should be getting up in the 10th and throwing all 3 to force his opponent tie.
Exactly. And he kind of yanked that one a little bit, and shows right there, pays the full price.
Pays full price and 4 10s, and now that's all she wrote for the game unless he makes it, which he's more
gave it a run.
Not going to.
Yeah, gave it a run, but he had a great tournament.
Yeah, and Dick Allen bowling 2-0 going into the 10th. You would have never thought that he would have had a chance based on the score of the last game.
Yeah, if you're going to say you're going to bowl 2 1/4, right, you're about 40 short.
Yeah, you would have thought you were definitely 40 short.
Now
that would have been close.
No. Now let's insert Frankie here.
Okay.
My 2 cents on our dear friend Frankie. I think he played them wrong.
Well, let's find out as we take a look at his first shot here.
Yeah, let's take a look.
We know he likes to let off it a little bit more. He's definitely more of a straighter player.
Yeah, he's more of like he's kind of like the definition of a stroker, and that's kind of been extinct in this generation. But he's kind of like a stroker. I wouldn't call him a tweener, but I think he's like more of like a controlled stroker, not a power stroker, but a stroker.
Right.
And here, take a look here.
He's definitely in there.
And I think Frankie might have played him a little wrong. I think he was a little bit too deep.
I can see that, but I think the guys that were the reasoning why the scores were low in the second game was because they were seeing transition and early hook. So I think Frankie was trying to get further left of all of that so he didn't have to deal with it. And
Agreed.
maybe if he threw it a little slower and let it hook off of that spot, he might create a little bit more room for himself.
I agree. But see, like, and again, a guy like, I'll use Prather as the example. A guy with a little more hand at the bottom from that part of the lane would have had a better look than Frankie. Frankie doesn't hit it as hard. You know what I'm saying? I think that's where his struggles might have been because he doesn't have the rev rate, even like if Dick Allen here.
Well, okay, so let's look at this number here. So he's at 21 at the arrows, 8 down lane with a 380 rev rate and 18 mile an hour, right?
Correct.
Frankie, right? About a board left and left rev rate, more ball speed.
Yeah.
Obviously, ball choice is everything.
Of course.
Maybe he was thinking that he could play a little bit off of his hook and create a little more room for himself with being that more low rev guy.
Yeah. No, I can see it.
Maybe he saw something in practice that his ball was just seeing it too early, potentially.
Yeah, there's so many factors to it.
Absolutely.
Great shot there.
He starts spare triple, so I'm not sure. I didn't watch this game, so I'll see what you're talking about more specifically with that, with him playing him wrong.
Yeah, I mean that was just my opinion. I think he was a little bit too far left.
Okay.
For his game, I think he could have probably sneaked or snuck a little bit right, and that's a bad break right there. It's a great shot.
Yeah, I mean, still hitting the pocket, still running over the pocket. Even then, I'd still say I don't remember what he did in the first, but he hit the pocket the last 4 shots.
Yeah, he had the light swisher 7 in the first. What he had.
Okay, so he hit the pocket dead on the last 4 shots.
Yeah, no, he hit it every shot, and here's our little VRBO, whoever they are. That's one of our ads here.
Or advertisements.
Advertisements here.
And even then, you see how that one got right early, and it's still hooked. That could have been the benefit to him being that deep.
Yes, agreed.
So right now, I mean, he's basically got spare 5-bagger because he's got the bad break in the 5th, and he's up 22 in the match.
Yeah. And at this point, to me, it looked like Dick Allen had his look that he had the previous Sunday.
Looked like he got it back.
Oh, yeah. It looks like he found it right there, and that's a nice little image there of Dick Allen.
Yeah, being clutch.
Yeah, that's where I kind of thought that the turning point was he had the look. He got back what ring and 10 there.
Yeah, and even that's still a pretty good shot. And
that ball just faced up a little bit. It didn't.
Yeah.
It stood up in the back for him.
Could just be it came off hand a little funky, but okay. Now I kind of see what you're saying. It looks like the ball is it's more of a shiny ball, and it could just be it's getting a little too far behind the headpin. Not seeing it right.
Yeah, like the ball just kind of like the ball just kind of like stood up in the back. It wasn't continuous. It just stood up at the back part of the lane for him.
Yeah. Yep.
And now Dick Allen is that's his wheelhouse. That's his A game, right where he is.
Yep. I would agree.
And that's where it's like, oh boy, now he has it. Like the lane, it's almost like the lane came to him. I know that sounds crazy to say that, but I mean he just splits the 8-9 there. I mean that's really good.
Yeah.
Boom. So let's get up to Frankie here in the 9th. Now you didn't see that
he throws the back 4 and forces Dick to get the first one. And even then that one smacks the 10 out, but still looks like it could have been a little behind the head pin. I think it could have just been ball choice, and I think he could have been close.
Or maybe like hand position, too. It looked like he was trying to go up the back of it from that part of the lane.
Maybe, but I mean, if he carries that smash 7, he's got the lead.
Absolutely.
Tied for the lead. Yeah, because he would have 21 more, so he'd be at 59. 59. So you take out that smash 7, he throws
See,
that one.
and there's a flat 10 right there.
Yeah.
And different from the ring intent, that was just watch the replay. This one just hit. This is a flat 10. Well, take our word for it. It was a flat 10.
Yeah. So I mean, I would agree that a different ball could have been, but going into the match, if all of the shots hit the pocket, and a couple of the ring 10s, I mean, it could have been the wrong ball.
Yeah,
But
and there's Dick Allen doing what Dick Allen does.
Looking back at the match, but
yeah. Now let's fast forward to the title match. Now, I said to myself, and I was actually bowling the tournament this day, and we had it on in the bowling center, and the guys I was bowling with, I said, well, you can hand Dick Allen the trophy now, because he had the look that he had the previous week. He got it.
right.
And Troop would have to bowl. I mean, Troop had to bowl through 50 to beat that.
Right.
That's what I thought to myself, at least. And Dick bowled a really good game.
Yeah.
Here's the first shot from Kyle.
We'll watch Kyle here because he changed the way that he was throwing it a little bit too. You can see it in the middle of the game a little bit more noticeably. Doesn't he start to throw it a little bit harder?
Yeah, he did a little something more to it at the bottom.
I feel like he moved a little right.
Yeah, like that shot just kind of labored a little bit. That never really read the lane.
Yeah.
If you watch this again,
you can see it gets in, and it looks like it doesn't really see it until 50 feet. I mean,
no,
you see this right here. This second marker is, I believe, 43.
That's 40 feet. Yeah, it's 40 or 43 feet.
43, and this is 60. That doesn't see it until 50.
No, that ball kind of hydroplaned. That ball did a backstroke in the middle of the lane.
Right.
And you can see it too. That ball just literally just hydroplaned through the front, through the heads and down lane.
So Dick Allen now on a double.
And Dick Allen's just in his comfort zone. That was a bad shot there.
He hit that hydroplane that looked like that same hydroplane spot that Kyle did. Looks like it was just like one or two left at the arrows. You can see it was about a board and a half left. Mm-hmm. Maybe that difference maker. Yeah,
it could have been. But again, just looking at Kyle's first two shots and Dick's first three, I said to myself,
Kyle's look definitely wasn't promising. As you see, that one didn't see it until that one maybe saw it 4 feet sooner, but it still didn't see it until 46 feet.
It's kind of like Kyle was trying to play fallback almost.
I think that's exactly what he was trying to do because he had.
If you look at that,
because if you got it right, his ball hooked.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see that. But I think this was the shot, and you see it doesn't see it again until that same spot 50 feet down the lane. I think he made a small adjustment the next two frames that if he didn't make, it would have been game over.
Yeah. And that's really good.
I mean, when Dick Allen throws that shot right there, that's a pretty good one. And solidifies his look for the rest of the game because he won light to one shot, and other than that, he hadn't. Mm-hmm. Let's see if this was the shot that he made the move. No, it wasn't that one. You can see his ball still getting 46 feet down the lane before it's making that turn and getting just a hair too far behind the headpin. And I believe it's this shot that he gets a little further right to see it a little bit sooner. Or throws it a little bit slower, but you can see it significantly hooks earlier. Or it looks like it on this line a little bit.
A little bit.
You can see he's about one right.
Yeah.
So Dick Allen, another good shot there. I mean, he's got to just keep making good shots, and he's going to win this match with Kyle.
Absolutely.
Only striking 3 times in the first 6 frames.
I mean, he's in his A game right now. I mean, he's absolutely in his wheelhouse.
Absolutely.
And there it is. So that was the flat 10.
Yeah, and even then, that could have been a little bit of that carry down too.
How bad is it that he's probably thinking to himself right there. He goes, "I'm going to lose by a pin now. We both go to the wall. I'm down. I lose by a stick."
Right.
I mean, that's probably what he had to be thinking. I mean, am I wrong to assume that?
No, I mean, it's got to cross your mind at least a little bit.
Yeah, but he made the spare, did what he had to do.
But you can see this one here significantly further right. I mean, a whole 2 boards right at the arrows, almost 2 right down lane, but you can see how further right it is and how much sooner it sees it. I mean, now it sees it at 44 feet where it didn't see it until 47 or 48.
Yeah, he's finally getting it.
That was the move that he needed to make, and that's what increased his pin carry a lot.
Yeah, he bowled. That was probably the best shot of the match right there.
And you can see too, this one, I mean, it's still a little right at the arrows, but even further right and sees it even sooner.
Yeah.
But this was a big shot in the match. We'll take another look at this one.
Yeah, this was probably the best one he threw in the entire match, in my opinion.
And this takes the lead and really puts the pressure on Dick Allen.
Yeah. That was a great shot.
Yeah, because Dick didn't have any pressure in the match before.
Dick Allen had no pressure in 6 games on TV in this tournament. If you really think about it, well, I'm sorry, and up until the 10th frame of the previous week, he had pressure in every 10th.
Right.
But on this show, he was never pushed at all.
No,
not to this severity.
And even then, that one just looked slow and around it, and it saw it early. And that could have been the friction spot that Kyle was trying to avoid by throwing it hard. But instead, he just knocked the speed down and used that hook to his advantage a little bit more. And that's what gave Kyle the big opportunity.
Now, this was the worst break of the tournament for Allen.
Yeah.
I mean,
pretty good shot and 7-10.
Like, he shouldn't have to pay the full price right there.
No, but that's what we were talking about. That last shot, too, he had that carry down lane and had that flat 10. It's the same thing. So he hit that same spot. Kyle's got to be thinking to himself, wow, now I just need to stay clean, just execute 1 or 2 more shots, and I'm going to win this tournament.
Exactly. And, God, I mean, I couldn't even imagine what was going through his head at that point.
No. And, I mean, yeah,
and boom.
Kyle now just needs a mark.
He needs a mark.
Doesn't even think doesn't need a mark.
No, we just need to count. Yep, need to count 9 pins. And honestly, what a great story. Love Kyle, great guy, very deserving. First of many majors, I'll have to say.
Absolutely, I would totally agree.
Yeah, and he's just in a great spot mentally now. Yeah, he's in a great spot now mentally.
Yeah, with what happened to his mom, I would totally agree, and I just think that move was the big difference maker in this match was when he moved a little bit further right, and let his ball see it, and I think that was the game changer and what allowed him to win this tournament.
Absolutely, great win for Troop, and he's still the same quirky guy that he is. You know, love his personality, but
he went from the TV act to the main deal.
Now he is more, not saying he wasn't this before, but now he looks like he's more of a veteran on TV now.
Yeah, he looks like
he's more business.
He's not just for show. He's there to win.
Yeah, he's more business now, and he is going to honestly, he's going to give Belmonte a run for Player of the Year every year, I think, for a while now. I do.
Okay.
I really think he's the real deal, and kudos to Troop, 100%. Couldn't be happier for the guy.
Yeah. Yep. So now let's look at the Tournament of Champions.
That was a good one too.
This was another really good show, and this was the show that shocked me, was how much they broke down in the ways that they did.
Okay.
Because tournament leader was Simonson. Belmonte was second. Who the heck was third? Can't even remember. Who the heck was third? Shoot. Oh, Jesper.
Yes.
Jesper was third, and Sean. So now, all these guys, major champions on tour, know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
you wouldn't ever think to see the scores a little bit lower, considering how high that they had been all week.
Mm-hmm.
And that
was like, how many 300s did they have at the TSC? They had a lot of 300s at the TSC.
Yeah, they did. They were high scores. Simonson almost averaged 240, probably.
Yeah, if you remember, what did Smallwood bowl the first block? He was up at like 260.
I
right?
don't know.
That first,
he broke the 12-game. He broke the 12-game scoring record.
Yeah,
so,
he averaged close to 260 the first block.
And Sean, that was his second Brooklyn in a row.
Can you imagine if that happened against him instead of him doing it to somebody?
Oh, it would have been.
Can you imagine?
Steam flying.
Oh, God. Absolutely.
So I think what caused the scores to be a little bit lower was how they were broken down. It had to be. Because I think Sean, having so many shots that missed left, got rid of all of that hold, and that was probably the main difference maker.
Mm-hmm.
They probably had a boatload of more hold, and when that had gone away, he didn't.
That hit really hard for him, too.
Yeah, really hard.
Mm-hmm. Hit like a pinball.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that hit like a turd. So let's go to Frankie here. And Frankie's Frankie. I mean, the guy is just at the bottom of the swing. He's unbelievable. His touch is just so good.
Yeah.
His touch is so good.
You got to think this guy's probably got the best mental game on tour.
Oh, God, absolutely.
I mean, you got to think that just by watching him. He looks like a guy that just stays in his own game, stays in what he does, and does what he's good at.
You know what's weird too, dude? A lot of people say they can't stand watching Frankie Bowl because he's boring on TV.
Yeah.
He's not exciting. I beg to differ. I would rather watch that and just watch his touch and his craft than somebody like hooting and hollering, and whatnot. I could watch Frankie LeVar Bowl all day long.
Right.
Nice shot there. As I give him a compliment, he missed the headpin.
We got a quote in the chat. Francois said the lanes played totally different on TV. They didn't bowl on that end all week, so that actually could make the difference. Was the topography? Because
we've talked about that.
The TV set had been set up for a while.
Yes,
because it was the same pair that they used for the players, and the same pair that they had used for obviously this. They'd use it for all the qualifying rounds of the players too.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't take down the TV set. They didn't bowl on that end of the building at all.
No.
So talking about two ends playing totally different, they had to. For the scores to be as low as they were, they had to be different.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And we got another comment in the chat. Frankie is boring? ? They should change the channel.
Agreed. I couldn't agree with that anymore.
Yeah. They used polished balls all week in qualifying and match play, and then they used dull balls on the show. So goes to show how different they were.
So again, here's the one. Look where Jesper's pin is on that ball.
Is that this ball?
He had it on this one too, I believe, on the other side of the ball. That's unbelievable. Never seen anything like that before. Great shot there.
Yeah, now you're looking at a tie ball game going into the 10th if both players strike out.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, it's basically whoever has a better 10th frame. But Frankie really stepped up in this 10th frame and made 3 really good shots to put all the pressure on Jesper. And
that was a great shot there.
Yeah, third good one in the 10th. And we'll see from Jesper here. Needs all 3 to tie and go into a roll-off. And the shot that he makes was not very good.
Justin, I got to tell you, I don't ever think I've seen Jesper miss it that bad when he needs it.
No, he's normally really good under pressure, and this shot was not very good at all.
No, this looks like one of my shots in the league here.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see it's almost 3 right or 3 left down lane. And it
That wasn't
wasn't
close.
even close.
No.
It was not even close.
He needed like another 20 feet for that ball to get back to the 1-2.
Yeah, that he did.
So Frankie 2-0, and now he goes to bowl. And Jespers is really tricky. You can tell Jespers is mad at himself there. And
well, it's one thing when you throw it good and just bad carry, but when you throw it that bad, when you did it yourself,
exactly, you have nobody to blame but yourself on that one.
right?
So let's go to Belmo. Let's insert Belmo into the semifinal match now.
Let's take a minute real quick. Think about this. If he wins, he would have won his 14th major. 14.
And that would have been title 24.
26.
Is it 26?
Yeah. He won his 25th at the World Series last year.
That's right. Good try for Frankie there. The fast 8 there for Frankie.
Yeah, the pesky 1-5.
Yeah, I would have re-racked that one myself there. It might have been a bad rack.
Yeah, that's definitely what it was.
So 25 titles he has.
And 13 of them are majors.
That's incredible.
Absolutely mind-blowing.
That's incredible.
So you can see how deep Belmo is and how hard his ball just goes left at the end of the pattern.
Mm-hmm. And normally...
Go ahead.
No, I think normally when Belmo is in that part of the lane, see ya.
Yeah.
You're bowling for second.
Right. I think Belmo should have tried to get he's pretty good at using urethane. I think he could have used urethane and maybe made a little bit more of an impact.
And throw the high hard one.
Yeah, because you see how hard his ball goes left. Yeah. I think it's a sign of him being far left.
Yeah.
I think he could have used urethane and helped and tried to blend that out a little bit more, and maybe this game would have been a little bit closer.
Yeah.
I mean,
and he looks baffled. Like, it's very rare that you see him like talking to himself like that.
Right. It's very rare that he is as lost as he is.
Yeah, and when they hook like that, you're not beating him. Like, he is so hard to beat when he gets to that part of the lane.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, there you go. It's a good shot there, but it was really surprising to see him bowl 190 on the show.
Yeah, that's my opinion. When you're talking about Frankie, the week before having the wrong ball, I think that
Belmo had the wrong ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Belmo could have definitely been further right to help blend out the back part of that lane.
Yeah, Belmo could have. What do you call it? Belmo could have used his strength of just throwing it Mach 7 up the track.
Right. And Simonson tried to do that.
Well,
the next match.
We're going to talk about Simo in a second here. You're talking about ball choice, right, Justin?
Yeah.
And do you know what Simonson threw on the show?
It was before Roto Grip was called Roto Grip.
It was the original grenade from like the 80s.
Yeah.
I mean, this was original urethane. It was Roto before Storm bought him, basically.
Right.
I mean, years ago.
The name of the ball. It was the Roto grenade. It wasn't Roto Grip.
Yeah. I mean, this ball may be older than me, or the same age as me. It's pretty close.
Definitely older than me. That's for sure.
Definitely older than you. Yep. And
it's older than him too.
It is older than him, and I mean that is this real urethane there.
Right, and you can see he definitely tries to give it the high hard one, and I mean I think it might have been the right play, just the wrong ball.
So you're thinking that modern urethane would have been better than 1985 urethane?
I think so, because we just talked about how Belmo could have probably used urethane to help blend out the end of the pattern. Mm-hmm. Simonson was trying to do the same thing. His carry, the first couple of shots, just were not very good at all.
Yeah, we'll get to that one later. But
I personally think, and I could be wrong, but I think maybe a more modern urethane might have just gone through the pins better.
It could have.
My opinion. Obviously, we'll never know. But
no, we'll never know.
You can see Frankie's ball starting to really not see it very good either.
No.
On the back end.
Yeah, Frankie had the quitter 10 there.
You can see. So back to how long this pattern is. I'm going to go back over here once they pull up the shot tracker again. This pattern's only is less than 40 feet.
Yeah, it's 39, right?
Yeah, 39 feet.
And there it is.
Talking about bad carry, and could be that old urethane, but a more modern urethane just might have hit harder, my opinion.
Yeah.
So let me find one of these shot trackers here.
That was pretty online too. That 810. I mean, that's just.
Yeah, and my opinion, a more modern urethane might have struck. And I know I've said that one too many times now, but you'll see this pattern
you're
stuff
right, though.
This second hash marker. So for someone to be this deep with only having 3 or 4 games on them is a lot. And his ball's got over 20 feet to get to the head pin. So you can see how hard his ball sees it off the end of that pattern. When it goes off this break point, it hooks hard.
The ball goes sideways. It's going sideways.
And that's what Belmo's ball was doing. It was just too uncontrollable.
Yeah.
But Frankie can blend that out a little bit more.
Yeah, and now he goes to resin, and now he's stepping in.
And you can see how hard his ball sees it at the end of the pattern. And that shot was also all she wrote.
Exactly. And I hate to say it, but the match was basically over at that point right there.
Yeah.
Simonson bowls it seems like you always got to get Simonson on the show in a major, and you're going to get him bowling for the title in the majors a lot now. It seems like he's always there, right?
Yeah, I think Simo's given Belmo a run for his money as the best player on tour.
Oh, him and Troop too.
Yeah, and the amount of times that Simo is bowled on the show at majors, let alone in the title match, is mind-boggling. And
so,
I think it's just a matter of time before he gets there again. And
he has one or two. He has 2 majors, Simonson, right?
Well, the Masters and the Players.
Okay, so do you think Simonson is just snake binning when he gets to the show in the majors?
Is what?
Like snake binning. Like he just has that bad luck. Like there's something like that black cloud for some reason. Like he gets there, but he never yes, he's won, but there's always one thing on the show that just like Barnes had that for a while, right? When Barnes was, the best in the world in the 2000s.
Right.
His TV record stunk.
Yeah.
Do you think Simonson, unfortunately, is living up to that right now before he breaks out of it? He's going to break out of it.
It could be. Because I think he lost to Belmo in 2 majors last year.
Yeah.
And has made the show in both majors this year.
Correct.
So I think it's just a matter of time before he wins another one, and it's not very far away.
No. So the shot maker prevailed in the TSC, and that's what Frankie is.
And I think that was because of his strengths. We talked about it being a shorter pattern and them hooking so much. I think he was able to just control his ball off the back end of the pattern where that more high rev guys weren't.
So I'm going to give you 3 guys, all right? Okay. Shot makers. And I'm not saying the 2-handers aren't, but I'm going to give you 3 1-handers, okay? Your opinion, best shot maker on tour. Frankie, Prather, O'Neill. Go.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Got to go with Frankie.
Number 1, Frankie?
I think Frankie's number 1.
Okay. For the obvious reasons we just discussed.
Yep.
I would say Bill would be number 2.
I was what I was leaning towards, but I just think Chris gets away with it a little bit more because he's got that voodoo ball roll.
Yeah, he does.
When he gets in there and goes around it, he's got that sick ball roll.
Yeah, his tilt is just on another level.
So that's where I would go. Probably Frankie, and then Bill edges Prather out by a stick.
Now, they are bowling this week, the World Series. It is not in the same center as this, right?
They're bowling in Tampa. Yes.
Tampa, yep.
And the World Championship show is on this Sunday.
This Saturday.
Saturday. Let me fact check that. I'll
ask Google.
Do my research here. But also one of the things that just happened over the weekend was the first ever PBA Junior National Championship concluded.
Yes, sir.
And it was really cool to see both matches on TV. Leaf bowling on TV was really good. Spencer Robarge defeated Nate Purchase, and Julian Martin just edged out Victoria Verano.
Yep.
Two really good matches that both came down to the 10th frame. And it was a matter of who showed up in the 10th and who didn't.
How about Spencer Robards winning a NEBA tournament last weekend?
Who?
He won a NEBA. He won a
Who
NEBA
did?
last. Spencer.
No, he didn't.
He did.
Spencer lives in Missouri.
Who's the? No. You may want to double check that.
It was Randall Dunbar. Randall.
That's the guy. That's the kid. Sorry.
Randall won.
Sorry about that. I knew it was one of those guys. Sorry about that.
Yeah, so the World Championship show is live on Fox on Saturday at 2 p.m. And the Roth-Holman doubles is Sunday at 3 on FS1.
Beautiful. It's a lot of bowling this weekend.
Oh, and a lot of bowling this week as well. With the Cheetah Monday night at 8 o'clock. Chameleon Tuesday at 8 o'clock. Scorpion Wednesday at 8 o'clock.
Can't get any better than this.
No. And the Masters, the USBC Masters is Sunday, April 4th. US Open, April 11th.
Now, the Masters is in Reno coinciding with the Open. I know the Open is at the stadium. So it's basically you bowl the Masters, you bowl the US Open right after.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of bowling coming up here. The scores have been pretty good so far at the World Series. They're not too high, too low. They're pretty competitive.
Yeah,
and
they're there.
There's a good mix of guys there. But touching on the PBA Junior really quick, Justin.
Yeah.
I never saw her live. I don't have a flow bowling, so I didn't watch her when she bowled a couple tournaments down in Arlington.
Right.
Jillian Martin is going to be a superstar.
Yes, she is.
She is going to be an absolute superstar.
By the way, if she was a member on the PBA Tour, they said this multiple times on the show, she'd be leading the points.
Yeah.
As a 16-year-old.
As a 16-year-old.
3 events on the PBA Tour.
If Jillian Martin bowled on tour full-time with the ladies, she would be giving Shannon O'Keefe a run for the money as the best female bowler in the world.
Yeah.
That girl is unbelievable. She throws it amazing.
She is really, really good.
Now, where is she from, bud?
Ohio.
Okay.
Yep.
We never talked to her before, right?
No.
We talked to one of the girls. I don't remember which girl it was, but it was right after Teen Masters. Whoever won the Teen Masters.
Caroline.
That's right.
Caroline won the girls. Yep.
Yeah, Jillian Martin is going to be a star when she gets out.
Yeah, and she's already proved it.
I'll tell you what, and then her opponent, Victoria, I mean, she has the bowling pedigree with her sister and whatnot, and with they're in the bowling business up there in New York. She throws it great too. There's a lot of talent coming out of the youth ranks right now.
That there definitely is.
Yep, and the guys too. I mean, those two guys, they are tough, man.
And Spencer, especially, Spencer's proven it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's dominated youth bowling for a long time. He's 18. He's dominated youth bowling for 5 years, 6 years. I mean, it's ridiculous what this kid has done.
Has he committed anywhere, or?
Yeah, he's going to Wichita State.
So you'll be with him.
Yes.
So let's just think about this for a second here.
Go ahead.
Right? So you're gonna have Spencer at Wichita.
Yep.
You'll be at Wichita. And Ryan Barnes is already at Wichita.
Yep.
But
go ahead.
Not to mention the other superstars that Steel Smith recruits there. So
that are already there or going there. Yeah.
That are already there. You guys are going to be loaded for a long time.
It's going to be a fun couple of years, that's for sure.
Absolutely. No, good stuff. So let's wrap this one up.
I was just about to say that, Mike. Glad you beat me to it.
Yep, we will be back maybe later on this week, or we'll see what the schedules are like.
We'll be back soon. We gotta check our schedules after the show. So we'll check our schedules. Stay tuned on our Facebook page, and we will let you guys know when we will be back online again. And we will probably be talking about either the PBA Juniors more specifically, or the World Championship and the World Series of Bowling. So stay tuned on our Facebook page for all the updates. And thank you guys for tuning in to this episode of the Bohn and Zano Zone podcast presented by BuddiesProShop.com.
BuddiesProShop.com, 5% off by using Zone 5 in the coupon code upon Zone 5 off upon checkout. Get all your stuff there. And we will be back. And until next time, bud.
Put syrup on your bacon?
Really quick about that. I actually had a conversation with our friend about that.
Who?
The person that is in the middle. The big guest that I'm working on. The real big guest that's going to help us.
Okay. Yep. Following now.
Determine syrup bacon, Nutella bacon, right?
Following.
So that guy, So without giving the cat out of the bag. So the person that I'm talking to that's kind of trying to make this work. Has gone back to me.
Okay.
And our guest had just had a medical procedure done.
Okay.
So he's laid up. So this is the prime time to get him on board because he's home.
Right.
So I am working on this to either happen next week or the following week if we can grab this guy. So that will be.
We'll stop the horse and pick him up.
Or we can go to him as well. But we will.
We'll stop the show just for him.
Yeah, and honestly, we're not going to tell you guys who it is, but I think our guests, our fans that watch the show, will be very surprised if we can pull this one off.
Yes, that'll be a fun show, no doubt.
It's a bowler, but not a bowler.
Yeah,
I don't know how you describe it,
Mike.
We're gonna top it.
We'll leave it at that. Everybody, have a great night, and we will see you next time inside the Bohn and Zano Zone.